Thank you all so much for stopping by today. So y'all, I feel like I have been on my feet for months, not hours, not days, but months, because we just got back from Texas and I took a few days off for my mind, my body, everything to reset. Like when I go on trips, I take a few days off just so I can reset. The time has changed, but it started out good this morning. Like I got up, I had a plan on what I wanted to do. Everything was good, but I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, what slowed me down. But before it gets dark, because it gets dark about 5:30 here, before it gets dark, I want to go ahead and harvest and slice the turmeric so that first thing in the morning I can get up and plant something else. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, so I woke up this morning early as if I was going to work because it's light out. And what I wanted to do, I started off great. I was getting some things checked off my list. I'm a list maker. And so once it, kind of heated up just a little bit here and the dew dried off, I wanted to go ahead and start continuing to harvest some of our holy basil because I've just been doing it in phases. I have been cutting, hang drying, letting it dry, store it. So that batch was ready. So I started to store it in our mason jars and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and let's start on another set. But what happened was I cut like a branch that had a lot of holy basil on it. And as soon as I cut it and it was like tangled, I was like, well, you're either going to do it now or you're either going to do it later, but it needs to get done. But I didn't plan on doing it because it takes me a while to process my herbs because I want to wash them off very good. I want to wash them off until the water is clear, no soil, no debris, no bugs, like whatever's on there. I want to make sure that they're clean, and then I try to dry it as much as possible. And then I hang them up to dry during this time. Now, during the summer, sometimes I will put them in the dehydrator because we have so much we have to harvest. But I am choosing to air dry the holy basil. And so, yeah, I cut off too much and it took me hours. I even took a break and it took me hours. I even had to go and sit down for 15 minutes just to rest my feet and to rest my nerves. But, I want to go ahead and harvest this turmeric today because that was on my list. And with it getting dark so early, I really wanted to go ahead and plant it back up, the container, but we're just going to wait till in the morning. Because one thing about ginger and turmeric and sweet potatoes, and we want to go ahead and harvest those as well, is you never know what you're going to get until you harvest it. So I do want to go ahead and get the process going with that. Also because during the hurricane, we had a lot of wind damage. Although the storm had moved, we had so much wind damage. So a lot of my plants got wind damage, but you'll see in a second when I go outside, the turmeric, actually a lot of the stems had got bent over and broken and turning brown. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest that. I got my timer on my sweet potatoes over here in the toaster oven. And then I have this cooking over here and I got a timer. So I'm not going to, this video, y'all, is not going to be long because I just want to sit down again. I really do want to sit down one more time. I'm also going to take the stems from the holy basil and put them in the compost pile as well. So let's go outside. Let's very quickly harvest this turmeric, see what we have. And really quick, turmeric people grow it for different reasons. So comment below, let me know if you use turmeric and how do you use it. I will say I don't use it a lot in seasonings. I really don't. I use it mainly for medicinal purposes. Turmeric can really assist with being like an anti-inflammatory. So if you have like arthritis, different pains like that, not saying that I have arthritis, but sometimes I get a little stiff, and I will encapsulate, which is make capsules with the dried turmeric, like in a powder, and I'll take them from time to time. But the key to that is you mix it with black pepper so that it can help with the absorption. So I have like black peppercorns that I will put through the coffee grinder and then mix the turmeric up, and I will make capsules with them. And then my husband and I, we will take them. So that's mainly why I grow turmeric, why I use turmeric. You can also use it in tea, but I love growing it for that. And then y'all know I also just love growing my own because I know how it was grown. So let's go outside. Let's see what we got. And then make sure if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because I'll show you what we're going to plant in the space of the turmeric. And then hopefully later on this week again, we will try to harvest our sweet potatoes so we can go ahead and let them cure. So before we go to the turmeric, let's make 2 little pit stops because I want to show you something. So I'm going to link the video where we planted up this container, just in case you haven't seen it, and what they started out as. So it has been raining here, and I'm telling y'all, it's something about the rainwater. It pulls the nutrients out of the sky, and it just makes everything grow. So this was this container, and actually these are pretty much ready to harvest, or I can leaf off. But what I think I'm gonna do is maybe pull these 3 right here, and I have some radishes that are 21-day radishes that I may plant right here. This was also one where we had the creeping time. I did a hard cut. You can see it starting to come back. This one, this bok choy right here, and then the spinach, we direct sowed that, which means we put it directly in the soil. So they have germinated, and I'm gonna have to come in and separate them out. But so those are starting to come in as well. And this type of spinach does really well too with cooler weather. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it did. Last season, it went through the frost just fine. So it has been super windy today, which is one of the reasons why I haven't stayed out here too much. But I want to take you over to the holy basil to let you see how much I still have to harvest. I mean, I'm doing okay, but I do want to go ahead and get that done. And then we'll come back, loop around to the turmeric, go ahead and harvest that. And then again, make sure you're subscribed so I can show you what we're going to plant there next. Okay, so this is where the holy basil was. I don't know if I said turmeric or not, but this is where the holy basil was. This is where I ended up, like, you see this right here? So I cut it, and it was like so much. But here's the thing that I wanted to tell y'all, like the holy basil and the Thai basil this year were totally volunteer plants. So what I did is once they got big enough, I moved them to where I wanted them to go in the garden. Like, I didn't seed any of the Thai basil, and we had so much Thai basil, so much. And then the holy basil, we had a little bit, but I just moved it over here, and this is what it's been doing. And this is how much I have left. I think the bees have got mad at me because they love this holy basil right here, but this is the big chunk that I took out because it was so much. So hopefully by the end of this week we will have all of this harvested and something else planted. So now let's go ahead and go over to the turmeric. Let's harvest that, and then I got to go back inside. So here is the turmeric for this year. And again, this is where I was telling you where when we had the hurricane coming through, although it shifted, like it was a lot of wind damage, which like bent the stems, which made them dry. Now, I was going to pull it anyway because turmeric I always harvest it before the frost, but I could have left it in here longer, but we're going to use this container for something else. So let me go ahead and get my tools and my harvest basket, and we are going to see exactly what we got. I don't know, so we're going to see together. So I think last year I had a tarp and I emptied everything out. This turmeric is definitely making me work to get to it, but what I will tell you is that it smells really good. I do see turmeric, but I just have to get to it. The roots definitely are running deep here. So let me try to see what we have here. I just dumped it in this wheelbarrow. Like I said, I do see the roots and the actual turmeric, but I just have to get it apart, and then I'll show you what we have. Now, last year we grew it in a much bigger container. Again, this year I planted it late and it wasn't in as big as a container, but anything is great when you grow your own. So let me show you what we got before we actually rinse it off. Again, we grew it in this container over here, but this is the turmeric that we're going to wash off. And what I'll do is I'll put it like on a screen tonight, just kind of wash it off and let it air dry, and then we'll cut it up and go ahead and dehydrate it. But it smells real good, y'all. So this is what we have for our harvest, and I'm happy because of when I planted it, and then we still got turmeric. But I'm actually going to save some of these that have these nodules right here, and I'll replant them inside, because when I planted them from these rhizomes, it took a little while for them to break through the soil. So I'll go ahead and plant some of the good ones inside, and then we'll just keep it inside until it's ready to go out, like early next spring, which is when I should plant it, like when all danger of frost has passed. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna keep some of my good ones, and these actually look like really good ones with these nodules right here. So I'll just put these straight in soil and put these in our grow room so I can get a head start, because y'all know sometimes time gets away from me. So before the dark catches us, let me go ahead and rinse these off and separate them, and I'll show you everything that we got. Okay, so this is what we ended up with the turmeric. I still need to spray it off a little bit more, but my husband, if you can hear the noise, he's pressure washing in the front, and our hose in the back, the sprayer broke. I still got to buy new hose and a new sprayer, but water comes out of it. So I'm still going to go ahead and spray these off one more time, and then just kind of pull them apart so that they can get air. Lay them flat to air dry, and then we'll go ahead, we'll slice them up, and then we will go ahead and make our turmeric capsules. And I may just slice a little bit up for some powdered turmeric, just to put like maybe in some curry, maybe, we'll see. But this was our turmeric harvest for this year. I think it did amazing, y'all, especially once again, like I said, I planted it late and it was in a smaller container than the other years, but I'm going to be smart this time and go ahead and get them started inside off of one of the good rhizomes that I see in here, and I will keep you updated on the process. So as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you share this video with your family and your friends. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive all notifications each time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video, bye bye.